Hello, this is Terrell Pauly with Diverse IT Skills. And in today's video, what I'd like to do is actually show you how to install Windows 10 Home on the VMware Workstation 15 player. Now, in my prior two videos, a couple of videos ago, I actually went through the shows you how to actually install VMware Workstation 15 player and how to actually download the Windows 10 Home ISO directly by purchasing it directly from the Microsoft website. So if you want to see those, you could actually check out those two videos. That'll get you to where we are right now. So in today's video, we're going to go ahead and perform the actual install of the ISO. So let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to actually just open up VMware Workstation 15 player. And then we're going to come here to create virtual machine, create a new virtual machine. So here's where we actually select the actual ISO, install the actual image file, right? And right here, so we're going to select that. And so it tells you that it actually detected the Windows 10 64-bit. Do next. And here you can actually give it a different name if you want to, call it something else. When this name is Windows 10 64-bit, it's fine. That's the location. Okay, this is the location where they're actually going to put the actual virtual machine. Here's where we can actually specify the size of the hard disk. 64-bit is recommended size, so we'll leave it at 64-bit. That's fine. And here, we're going to leave everything as pretty much the default. Here, you can actually specify if you want to split the virtual disk into multiple files, or if you want to store the virtual disk as a single file. And it actually tells you what the benefits and the the negatives are of splitting pretty much both. So when you split the virtual disk into multiple files on your physical file system, it says that it makes it easier to move the virtual machine to another computer, but it may reduce performance with very large disks. So very large disks, but we'll just leave it as default. Okay, and unless you know what you've chosen, it gives you the following settings that were picked. Power on this virtual machine after creation. You can actually customize the hardware if you wanted to, but so this right here gives you a summary here of what you have, what your virtual machine is going to be created with, how much memory is 2 gigs. It's going to be 2 processors. It's going to give it a CD DVD drive, network adapter, and so it gives you what the hardware devices that are going to be installed on your virtual machine. And you can actually come in here if you wanted to make changes to that. If you wanted to increase or decrease these settings, you can do so. I'm going to leave everything as default, but if you wanted to, for a specific reason, if you needed to, this laptop that I'm running on is kind of, it's not really a powerful, beefed up laptop. I have it just for, training purposes, really, to the whole purpose. But I think I may have maybe like, maybe 8 gigs of RAM. I think I do, 8 gigs of RAM. So I really, if I want to be able to host like maybe multiple virtual machines eventually, and not even, and more than just doing Windows 10 virtual machine, maybe, actually getting to Windows Server ISOs and things of that nature, I'm going to actually want to look into upgrading my existing hardware, the memory and things of that nature to be able to support. So my host my actual host, which is my training laptop, would be able to support these virtual machine environments. So, but these are the settings that you could come in here and actually change if you wanted to. But we're going to leave everything as default. So I'm going to close. We're going to do finish. And now it's going to go through the process of actually creating the disk. Okay, so now it created the disk. Now it says here, now it gives you an option if you wanted to install and download, install the VMware tools for Windows, which allows you to enable advanced features for your virtual machine. So I'm going to do this later. So for right now, I'm going to click remind me later. So I see here what we got here where it says unsuccessful here. So let's, and we have a message here that says, click on the virtual screen to send keystrokes. So, okay, so install Windows 10 64-bit as you would on a physical computer. When you are done and the operating system boots up, click I finish installing. So I'm going to just click I finish installing here. So in order to access your virtual machine, you got to actually click inside here. So click inside the actual, boop. So now, and if you want to return out to your computer, just like it says, return out from to your computer, press Control Alt. So if you do Control Alt, now you're back out here, and then just click inside your virtual machine, which is pretty straightforward. So let's see what happened here. So let's just do boot normally. So and we can scroll up and down of your boot manager. Your boot manager lets you know what do you want to actually use to boot first. You know, what do you want to boot to? And actually, so we're going to do boot normally. Press any key to boot from CD or DVD. So this is in regards to, so I just hit enter. So it would, it's like it's installing the actual ISO or the actual install of Windows 10. So now this is going to be the normal process if you ever installed a Windows operating system on a physical computer. So here's Windows setup. Everything is going to be next. So I want to install now. Okay, so now you need to activate Windows. If you purchase your Microsoft Windows copy, if you had a existing Windows 10 copy that you're not using, this is where you're going to put it in here. So let me actually put in my product key. Okay, so you want to accept the license terms, and which type of installation do you want? You can upgrade, install Windows and keep file settings, applications, custom, install Windows only. So we're just going to do the first one, install Windows and keep files, settings, and applications. Let's see here. The upgrade option is available if you start your computer using Windows installation media. A copy of Windows is already installed on this computer. Installation media after Windows has started, normally insert that. So let's see what we have here. Okay, now it wants you to, let me see, accept the license terms. Which type of installation do you want? Install Windows only. So this is going to be just a install Windows only. The file settings and applications aren't moved. Recommend backing up. So let's do an install because we're not doing an upgrade. So install, and we're going to choose our drive that we created. Where do you want to install Windows? On our virtual hard drive. And now we're going through the process of actually installing Windows itself. So this may take some time. I know when just doing a regular Windows install, operating system install, it takes time. So I will most likely, let me just pause this where we're at for right now. Until this finishes, it's just going to go through the regular normal install process. You can leave it, go, walk away, get you some coffee, get you some lunch, something like that. And then you can come back when it is done. So once it went through the setup, so now it's finished with that. And now it's going to go through the stage of getting ready and finishing up whatever else it has to do. It's just going to continue on until it actually finishes the actual install. Okay, so now let's go through and continue on with the setup.
Your keyboard is set to US. Want to stick with that? Do you also type with another keyboard layout? Now we have some important setup to do.
Okay, so now we have, so now we can sign in, create an account, sign in. I'm gonna just create. I don't want to. I'm gonna just right now. I just want to do an offline account. I don't want to tie it to anything at the moment. So I want to sign in with Microsoft instead. I want to say no to this. And I'm going to just create a local account. A local account to this Windows 10 home virtual machine. Create a password. So answer some security questions. I'm gonna just put in tests for everything. So since this is only for testing purposes, okay, now it's this might take several minutes, and we'll pause it again here while this completes. Okay, so there we go. Here we have it. So now Windows, this is marked the completion of a Windows 10 Home virtual machine install on using VMware Workstation 15 player. Install is complete. We can take a look at some of the settings that we have here. Let's go to computer. Let's just make it full screen. Okay, that doesn't really. Okay, so it looks like I might have something might have happened to my virtual machine. Looks like it might be actually frozen. So it could be because, let's just see what this machine is doing here. That would be why. Okay, so I am running at 100% CPU, which means I'm not going to be able to do much of nothing. VMware has taken up most of every 50%, 55%, almost 60%. So I'm going to be pretty much locked up here. This is why I need a beefier. Looks like I'm going to need a beefier workstation that has more CPU to be able to do some of this stuff here. It looks like. So, but thankfully, let's see if we can just close VMware. Let me see if we can just shut it down. Shut down guest. Okay, it could damage the data, but otherwise, right now I don't have an option because everything is kind of frozen. So I think that just to make sure everything is still recording, this right here is pretty much the end of the how to install the Windows 10 Home on top of a VM workstation, VM Workstation Player 15. Actually, let's just see what happens if we shut it down. Doesn't matter. Shut down. Yeah. So my CPU is not going to be able to handle this sort of regular training with VMware. So I'm going to actually have to look into maybe getting a beefier, more powerful laptop. But let's just see what happens to our VM here. And this is good. This is good like live training to see what so you know that running a VMware environment can be resource intensive. Let's see if it actually destroyed the VM, which doesn't matter. That's the whole purpose of being able to have a VM, to where something happens to the OS, you can shut it down, you can make changes. It doesn't really matter because you can just delete the VM and create a new one. So and here we go. So we're still here. We can log in. I'm pretty much creeping back up here with our CPU resources again. So, but this right here actually shows you have your Windows 10 Home VM installed. I hope this was helpful. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments section below. And if you like this sort of content, you want additional content like this, if you want to be able to stay up to date when I release videos, I try to release videos at least once a week. So you can actually subscribe to my channel, Diverse IT Skills. So until next time, my name is Terrell Pauly. Take care.